The Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohame sat in a tapestried chair watching mother and son approach. Windows on each side of her overlooked the curving southern bend of the river and the green farmlands of the Atreides family holding. But the Reverend Mother ignored the view. She was feeling her age this morning, more than a little petulant. She blamed it on space travel, an association with that abominable spacing guild and its secretive ways. But here was a mission that required personal attention from a Bene Gesserit with the sight. Even the Padishah Emperor's truthsayer couldn't evade that responsibility when the duty came. Damn that Jessica, the Reverend Mother thought. If only she had born a girl, as she was ordered to do. Jessica stopped 3 paces from the chair, dropped a small curtsy, a gentle flick of left hand along the line of her skirt. Paul gave the short bow his dancing master had taught, the one used when in doubt of another station. The nuances of Paul's greeting were not lost on the Reverend Mother. She said, "He's the cautious one, Jessica." Jessica's hand went to Paul's shoulder, tightened there. For a heartbeat, fear pulsed through her palm. Then she had herself under control. "Thus he has been taught, your reverence." What does she fear? Paul wondered. The old woman studied Paul in one gestalten flicker, face oval like Jessica's but strong bones, hair. The Duke's black, but with the brow line of the maternal grandfather who cannot be named, and that thin, disdainful nose, shape of directly staring green eyes like the old Duke, the paternal grandfather, who is dead. Now there was a man who appreciated the power of bravura, even in death, the Reverend Mother thought. Teaching is one thing, she said. The basic ingredient is another. We shall see. The old eyes darted a hard glance at Jessica. Leave us. I enjoin you to practice the meditation of peace. Jessica took her hand from Paul's shoulder. Your Reverence, Jessica, you know it must be done. Paul looked up at his mother, puzzled. Jessica straightened. Yes, of course. Paul looked back at the Reverend Mother. Politeness and his mother's obvious awe of this old woman argued caution, yet he felt an angry apprehension at the fear he sensed radiating from his mother. Paul, Jessica took a deep breath. This test you are about to receive, it's important to me. Test? He looked up at her. Remember, you're a Duke's son, Jessica said. She whirled and strode from the room in a dry swishing of skirt. The door closed solidly behind her. Paul faced the old woman, holding anger in check. Does one dismiss Lady Jessica as though she were a serving wench? The smile flicked the corners of the wrinkled old mouth. The Lady Jessica was my serving wench, lad, for 14 years at school, and a good one too. Now you come here. The command whipped out at him. Paul found himself obeying before he could think about it. Using the voice on me, he thought. He stopped at her gesture, standing beside her knees. See this? She asked. From the fold of her gown, she lifted a green metal cube, about 15 centimeters on a side. She turned it, and Paul saw that one side was open, black and oddly frightening. No light penetrated from that open blackness. Put your right hand in the box, she said. Fear shot through Paul. He started to back away, but the old woman said, Is this how you obey your mother? He looked up into bird-bright eyes. Slowly, feeling the compulsions and unable to inhibit them, Paul put his hand into the box. He felt first a sense of the cold as the blackness closed around his hand, then slick metal against his fingers and a pricking as though his hand were asleep. A predatory look filled the old woman's features. She lifted her right hand away from the box and poised the hand close to the side of Paul's neck. He saw a glint of metal there and started to turn toward it. Stop! She snapped, using the voice again. He swung his attention back to her face. I hold at your neck the Gom Jabbar. The Gom Jabbar? The high-handed enemy. It's a needle with a drop of poison on its tip. Aha! Don't pull away or you'll feel that poison. Paul tried to swallow in a dry throat. He could not take his attention from the seamed old face, the glistening eyes, the pale gums around silvery metal teeth that flashed as she spoke. A duke's son must know about poisons, she said. It's the way of our times, eh? Musky. To be poisoned in your drink. Almas. To be poisoned in your food. The quick ones and the slow ones and the ones in between. Here's a new one for you. The Gom Jabbar. It kills only animals.